Today we've got a 72 Chevelle in the shop. This car is a super cool car. It's not a show car, but it's definitely a driver. It's not perfect like you would expect a show car, but man, this is definitely a cool driver. So whoever built this car out, they put the windshield and the back glass back in the car with butyl tape, which is not equivalent to modern standards unless it's solely a show car. Unless the car is to be trailered back and forth and only driven a few times. If it's actually a driver, then modern standard is to go back in with modern adhesive, which is a urethane-based product that has a much greater retention value than the old style butyl tape. Butyl tape is also it's prone to leak over time, whereas a urethane, once it goes on and sticks, it's done. It's there until you cut it back out. So like I said, they did the windshield and the back glass. I wasn't aware of that until just now when I pulled it in. I knew the back glass is butyl in, but I just figured out the windshield is butyl in. So coming up soon in the future, he's going to have us doing the windshield in this car as well, which will be perfect. It'll be a great opportunity for us to get this windshield put back into modern standards and ensure that the retention on the windshield is going to be up to par. So this car is coming into us because the back glass is leaking. And the reason the back glass is leaking, because like I mentioned before, is butyl tape is prone to leak. What we're seeing is the back glass is cutting loose from that adhesive. And as we get a little farther into this process of me taking it apart, I'll come back and show exactly where it was leaking, why it's leaking, so you can get a visual of it and have a little better understanding of what I'm speaking about. So stay tuned as we start to take the 72 Chevelle apart and show you exactly how this process works and a good way to get this thing back together. And don't forget to go like, share, and subscribe this video on any platform that you are choosing to watch us on. Come on in here. We got some blankets laid out so we can get some trim laid out on it, get our tools laid out. Went ahead and taped everything up, do a little paint protection around the outside of it. The way these cars are put together to get this chrome trim off, there are little metal clips that snap onto the body here, and they've got little tabs that hang off on them. And then those tabs bite on this back side of this chrome here, or the stainless. Most of it's actually made of stainless, but this trim, and that's what retains it down. Went ahead and pulled the one side so we can show you how it comes apart. And I'll start doing the other side so you can see what happens. But the goal, we're trying to get this off, we take this tool and you slide it underneath the edge of the trim, and then you hook the edge of the clip and you pull the tension off the clip so it releases off of the trim. When you're doing this, you want to kind of float the bottom of the tool off the surface of the glass so you don't put scratching on the glass like this right here, and there's a couple other spots where you can tell somebody, whoever pulled it before. So you kind of float it, find a trim piece or a trim clip, pull a little tension out on it. And then of course all the other ones cut loose real well, so that one's gonna fight me. We'll work our way up. Actually, I'm gonna pull that one out, get it out of the way. All right, so these cars, the glass used to be butyl in, and one of the main reasons, I mean, that was kind of the standard of putting everything in back then. But a lot of times guys will go back with butyl because it helps them with the deck height. This butyl would come already in a certain size. So you get it in like 1/4 inch thickness, 5/16 or 3/8, depending on the deck height of the glass. And when I say deck height, that means how high the glass is in the pinch well itself. And when these chrome, when this molding goes back on, if the glass is decked too low in the hole, then there will be a big gap between the trim and the glass. And you want to avoid gaps. It just doesn't look very clean. Things get in there and you'll have all kinds of dirt and leaves just like this hanging out in there. When we get ready to deck this thing later, I'll come back and explain how we do it with modern adhesive and how we manage to make it perform the same way as far as deck height and make everything look good and clean and crisp for the customer. Illustrate what I was talking about with the butyl cutting loose on this glass. I'm going to put a little pressure on this cup to show you exactly where this thing's leaking at. So, and as I pull up on this glass, you can see everything's cutting loose right here. It's just all kind of falling out. None of this is even attached. right, now we can get a visual on the glass. You can see exactly what I was talking about. Through here, this butyl just kind of, oh, this is the side that was leaking. It just come off. It just completely from the surface. That may have something to do, it looks like maybe the surface wasn't cleaned well. It's entirely possible it's just dirty now because it has been leaking for so, you know, however long it's been leaking. But it looks like we got a little bit of rust under there and some paint pulled, which is pretty normal for an old car. We'll get in there and clean it up. We got to strip all this old butyl out anyway because our primers now, our modern primers, will not stick to this material. And we'll go back, get it all cleaned up, make sure we get back down to bare metal or paint, and then start resurfacing this area and get ready to go back in. I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. Do not ever put silicone in an automotive application. The silicone contamination causes absolute havoc and makes it so that materials do not bond properly. I've got a good video describing this on the Corvette we did a while back, where it took me hours to try to get enough of the silicone contamination removed out of it in order to be able to install the glass back in. Most shops will not touch a car that they find silicone on. That you will just be stuck with no glass in a car. Do not put silicone on a car. So right here, gotta get in here and trim it out a little bit so you can see this thing started leaking evidently, and somebody come back and backfilled it with silicone. When the appropriate action should have been remove the part and reinstall it properly. Not pack it full of stuff trying to make it stop leaking. This is a giant no-no. And I know a lot of old school guys like doing this, but man, this is cancer to a car. This job could have been so much cleaner if somebody hadn't gone back and filled it with silicone. We got everything out, and then we found the rust. We found some silicone contamination in here. Somebody packed silicone. I think our last little section I was ranting about silicone. I wanted to show what this looks like before and after. Now, ideally, when you get a glass out and it's got any sort of rust damage on it, you want to take it down to where it's shiny, bright, new metal and get all the rust neutralized. So like right in through here, we got shiny, bright new metal, but you see there's low spots all the way across it where it's pinch weld or they got body filler in it or the rust is too deep. I have worked on this thing quite a bit, and I've got it as far down as I'm comfortable getting it. I think the other side is worse. Yeah, I don't see any pinholes or anything over here. But the other side's already got pinholes working in it. And I got a light here so we can put the camera on it. Maybe we can pick it up. Got a hole here, which is not as big of a deal. But all around it, you can see it's got little pinholes next to it. And then a little farther over, like I got a pinhole here. I've got another pinhole right there. Some of these are getting to the point where they're a little worse than pinholes. So, ideally, the best way to fix this, the proper way to fix it is, it really needs new metal. But this guy's not interested in that. We just need to get a back glass in it and make sure it's not leaking. So, it pays to do it right the first time. A lot of this could have been prevented if when the car was built, it had just been done right the first time. And I get it, it probably was a budget build, fine, whatever. But it definitely pays to do it right the first time. So my method on this, we get it down, we got it cleaned up as much as we can. I got 2 coats of primer on this side where you can see it's blacked out. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. We just did it 2 sides side by side for contrast. And then on the glass, we're gonna do the same thing. So we use a primerless adhesive, but I'll pull a clean primer line all the way around this thing so it's got a perfect straight line all the way around it. And when you're looking at the car from the outside, you will not see where that adhesive bead is at all. It'll be nice and blacked out. And then to protect that inner layer of primer, I'll go on the outside and put another layer of primer on the outside. That's kind of a little method I've developed. It works pretty well. Really, primer is not UV resistant, but if I double it up inside and outside, at least the stuff on the outside will be covered by the chrome trim that goes on it, and it'll hopefully promote a little more longevity out of that primer line there. So I'll hit the rest of this with primer. We'll do another come back, and I'll show you what it looks like on the glass, and then we'll go from there and figuring out our procedure of how we want to set it up and how to space it, and then putting our chrome back on. All right, so the key to snapping down this trim when you're urethaning these glasses in is you set it, you put the trim on while the urethane's still wet, and you deck the glass really high in the hole, so when you snap the trim down, the glass and the trim snap flush together, and you don't have to worry about your glass being too deep down in the pinch well. There's that. Just gonna pull the tape off of it and clean it up. We'll show you what it looks like when we're done. All right. Oh, somebody's gonna talk a little trash about my blue paper towels. They leave residue. Right. Like I said when we started this thing, it's not a show car, but it is a dang cool one. That's for sure. Safe to say this thing turned out pretty dang good.